2 News Live on a Friday, live look from Utah Valley University. This is Orem, where we're learning new details about a memorial for Charlie Kirk next month. Also tracking some storms in the forecast tonight. How this could impact your weekend plans, you'll want to pay attention here in just a moment. And a live look from Ogden, where Union Station, I feel like there's a Union Station in every town, by the way, that has a railroad. This one is under renovation. We were going to be talking to the mayor. I don't know if we're talking to the mayor. We'll talk about the topic regardless here as they talk about renovating this. Is basically a staple in Ogden. Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon for 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. We're going to begin on the campus of Utah Valley University, where we've confirmed Turning Point USA plans to honor Charlie Kirk next month on campus. That event will be held on September 10th. At the UCCU Center in Orem. This is some video from last year as well. I was on campus this very day last year. That would be 1 year to the day that Kirk was shot and killed on the campus there, hosting a question and answer session with students. Still very heavy for a lot of folks. We're going to learn some more details about this specific event, including the time of the memorial, who will speak or participate. UVU will also close its regular operations that day, giving students and employees time for reflection, service, and connection. UVU has also continued working towards a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk. A committee formed after his death was tasked with considering ideas from students, community members, elected officials, and Charlie Kirk's own family. Coming back here into the newsroom on 2 News Live. Thanks for being with us. As always, meteorologist Chase Thomason is here, kind enough to start his day off with us.
That's right.
What do we have going on right now? What are you looking at here on this Friday afternoon? Seems pretty active for you.
Happy Friday, yeah. I think we're going to have some pretty active weather for the Wasatch Front with some scattered thunderstorms. They're already developing in the mountains. It's a pretty active 3:30 hour in the Park City area with some heavy rainfall along I-80. On my way into work from the Wasatch back, we had a nice little shower with some lightning, so they could really pack a punch this afternoon. Watching these storms, Brian, though, down in Utah County, so a little bit of rain. We're not seeing heavy rainfall right now, but some gusty winds is probably what I'm most concerned about with these showers. So they could produce winds up to 60 miles per hour. They could turn severe, so we're watching that. Everything is lifting northward, so those storms down in Utah County eventually making it into the Salt Lake Valley right around 4:30 to 5:30, and if they all hold together, rolling through the northern end of the Wasatch Front probably after 6 o'clock. So we're going to be tracking those storms on 2 News during all our newscasts.
This is northern Utah, southern Utah, mostly
dry
at this point?
Right now we're not seeing a whole lot down in southern Utah, some very isolated storms in the mountains of central Utah. That's because this high is lifting northward over the next 24 hours, so it's pulling that moisture into northern Utah through this evening. I still think we're going to have some moisture over the weekend, so we can't rule out maybe a pop-up thunderstorm if you have any Saturday or Sunday plans, especially in the mountains and especially in northern and central Utah.
Is that a big part of what you're tracking for your next weather maker here?
Yep, it's the same weather maker. It's this ridge of high pressure, but it's the movement of the high has a big play on what we see here in Utah. And by the way, we did hit 100 degrees today.
Lovely.
Briefly, 100. That's now the 20th time we've hit 100 so far this summer.
It's been a hot summer, but it is not a record-breaking in terms of the amount, right?
Right. The
We're
record
still far off of
is
that.
34. That was back in 2022.
We're not getting there, right?
But 20 makes us in 7th place. We're not going to do it. I'm forecasting mid-90s. Plenty hot, but not triple digits.
Thank you for tracking that historical data for us, Chase, and I'm looking forward to ski season.
Me too.
All right.
Soon.
Thanks, man. So we'll see you coming up on 2 News at 4 o'clock. Right now, we're taking a live look at the U's campus, where college students are moving in ahead of the fall semester, which begins on Monday. Students living on campus can get settled in with some free food and multiple activities to help get readjusted to life on campus. What would it be like to go back to school?
It's always a great day to be a Ute, but today's a particularly great day. It's move-in day, it's move-in week, and so we're opening a new complex here, which we're super excited about, welcoming students from all across the country.
Feels like just yesterday for some of us. Make sure you watch 2 News this morning for all of your back-to-school coverage. The Weber School District heads back on Monday. Tune in at 5 a.m. to see how they're welcoming students for the next school year. Let's go to Weber County, shall we? That's where the old Union Station letters in Ogden came down as crews worked to restore the historic landmark. Ogden city leaders calling this a new chapter. Up until a few minutes ago, it was our intent to talk to the Ogden mayor here to ask him some questions about this because I was curious about this project personally, the restoration. What does it look like financially? I wanted to ask him just broad scale about this restoration of Union Station. You can see on your screen some of those letters that were removed. So I wanted to ask him, these are historic, right? This is a staple in Ogden. What are they going to do with these? Are they going back up anywhere else? Are they going to just replace? We're trying to get some more information on this because Union Station is kind of that mainstay for a lot of folks in Ogden. You know, I don't spend as much time in Ogden as I'd like to, but every time I'm there, I get this sense of, you know, the nostalgia of looking at this creative spot where a lot of these trains move through. They've got, you know, the big boy always pulls through there, so people get interested in that. And Ogden just kind of has that feel to it that a lot of our cities here, really in the United States, just don't have anymore. And that's what Union Station was all about. So how is the restoration funded? Where are the letters going? What's the timeline look like? I do hope to get those answers for you because I think there's definitely a level of curiosity to this when it comes to what's going on in Ogden. Let's head over to our content center this afternoon on 2 News Live at 3:30. Jonathan May is here on a Friday. He's just as tall as me. TV's pretty cool like that. What are we looking at over here in the content center, Jonathan?
Well, yeah, Brian, we just got a story posted here about a minivan crashing into a Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints meeting house here in Lehigh. Now, we have the photo right here you can see, and we also have a short video here on YouTube posted that kind of shows people around the meeting house building seeing the minivan just inside the building. Now, based on the preliminary investigation, I think this is a result of a medical emergency.
Yeah, and we learned of this morning, kind of a startling situation when you look at that. And it always seems like, unfortunately, our meeting houses are getting the brunt of some of these very unique, bizarre situations. But as we understand, it sounds like it was crashed into another vehicle and then veered off. And that was the building that was closest that took the impact. So you can see that right now on our YouTube page?
Right now on YouTube, we have two kind of videos. I kind of quick and merged them together just
Nicely
real quick
done.
to get people to look at that.
Yeah, that way you can get the perspective of what things were looking like in Lehigh, especially this morning when this took place. Also on our YouTube page right now, a story that a lot of you have been seeing over the course of the last couple of days. I mean, this was a story that a lot of people were looking at on KUTV.com. It's a deeply troubling and sad story for somebody who's, you know, right around my age too. And I look at this family and can't help but wonder what's going to happen next for this mother that now needs a really remarkable surgery to happen.
Yeah, she's kind of waiting days even for a new lung after doing waiting for a lung transplant after having surgery. She has to be in a medically induced coma after stage 4 lung cancer. Never smoked, 39 years old, mother of 5, and quite the athlete according to her husband, who we interviewed here.
Yeah, it's one of those that we have a lot of that information on our website, but here you get the entire family perspective from husband, from dad about what this is like, and I can only imagine. So that is on our YouTube page, and as always, there's lots up there.
Lots up there.
All right, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Brian.
Our YouTube page is where a lot of those long-form conversations live, the in-depth conversations, the raw video, and of course, a lot of the stories that you can see on our newscast as well. We put it all up there. It's a one-stop shop for you. That would be our KUTV 2 News YouTube page. A couple other things going on here live at 3:30. The State Department of Workforce Services releasing an updated jobs report. As we take a live look here, Utah's unemployment rate now 3.6%, which is lower than the national rate of 4.1%. Right now, our fastest growing industries, professional, business services, education, health services, and construction. So there are still more than 64,000 Utahns looking for a full-time job, that according to the data. Also this afternoon, the Capitol being dedicated. Governor Spencer Cox and state leaders just renamed the new North Capitol building after former Governor Michael Leavitt. The Capitol Preservation Board approved the name change. Now, this was back in May, but this will honor Leavitt and the contributions he made to the state of Utah while serving in office as governor. And the new building opened earlier this year. It expands space for public access, state functions, and some civic gatherings. So this isn't the main state capitol. This is the North building up there on the campus. If you've yet to walk around up there while they've been doing a lot of construction. The North Capitol building is also home to that brand new Museum of Utah. I've yet to go check it out, but it's definitely on my to-do list here. Also, this going on this afternoon and tonight, we talked about this yesterday with like the OG of skateboarding, who is still just ripping it up. He's a staple for my childhood. His name is Tony Hawk. Live look outside the Huntsman Center when that camera may want to cooperate. We can try to come back to it. Where this weekend, Tony Hawk's Vert Alert is back for its 6th year. I get the sense that Tony loves hanging out in Utah. The event brings together some old legends, the new generation. Admission is free to this, by the way. That is perhaps the most important thing. So if you're looking for something free to do, that should be pretty darn entertaining. You go see Tony and his friends there for the Vert Alert event going on. Jim Spiewak actually spoke with Tony Hawk live on 2 News at 4 about this event yesterday. You can find that online, KUTV.com, also on our YouTube page. As always here at 3:30, we are listening to you, seeing what you're saying on social media. 2 News Listen. So a lot of people are excited about a new chocolate shop opening in Salt Lake City. We'll take you there live, show you what the hype is all about for Knoops Chocolate and their grand opening tonight. Sounds good to me. Back here just shy of 3:45 on a fine Friday afternoon. Hope you got your sweet tooth here. 2 News Listens, we're listening to you. A lot of people have been talking about this one. The new European chocolate store that is opening in Salt Lake City. Knoops Chocolate, the British chain of hot chocolate cafes, hosting their grand opening today. And the chain's first U.S. location will be located in none other than Salt Lake City's own 9th and 9th neighborhood. You can see it right down the road from the famous whale statue. Go do some laps around the whale and go get your chocolate. Ahead of tonight's grand opening, we want to welcome on here the founder, Jens Knoop, kind enough to join us here. This is so cool because this is your first U.S. location. Can you take us through the store real quick while we have you here live? Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Brian, for having me. So it's all about chocolate drinks, and we have a vast array of choices you have here. So just as an example, I have a 70%, which sounds a little bit dark, but it's really gentle, iced chocolate, and I added some roasted peanut to it. I know it's really appreciated here, the peanut flavor, so I thought, super hot outside. I think we're 102, 104 or something. So I thought I need a cold drink. And early on, I made a cold drink for cameraman Jake. I did a 34% iced chocolate with a little bit of sea salt. But come along, I'll show you the menu. So let's play a game here. Let's think it's kind of cold and winter and there's snow everywhere. When you come in, you, for example, have a choice of 18 different hot chocolates, ranging from really sweet, 28%, which is very successful, all the way to the milk chocolates, the dark chocolates, and then ending up 100%, which is quite a kick. But it's so hot outside, so we thought we're doing some cold chocolates as well. Come with me. Again, 28% white chocolate, 34% milk chocolate, 54, 70, 80, also the 100%. And you can have that as an iced chocolate, just like I have, or as a beautiful milkshake, so made with proper soft serve ice cream, a little bit more indulgent, but beautiful. And then if you want to kick the ball a little bit further, you add some sea salt, orange, fresh cardamom. So just how you want it, just how you like it. And I think we have a chocolate for everybody.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I wish I was there right now instead of being in our studio, because I would like to be holding one of those iced chocolate drinks. Why did you choose Salt Lake City as a destination for growing your business here?
Well, it's actually really easy. So maybe later on you can get a shot, but there's already a queue of people outside that have been to our London stores. And they really enjoyed what they had in London. So it was Utah calling us. And then somebody connected to me, my business partner Mike, and said, you got to come to Utah, you got to come to Salt Lake City, and specifically to 9th and 9th, which is just such a vibrant area with really great food here. And so, yeah, here we are. You called, we answered. Really excited about that.
What else are you doing for your grand opening? If people want to get down there because they see this, how can they participate in all the fun here? Grand openings are always exciting, but what are you doing specifically for your shop?
Well, I'm going to be, and I'm calling myself Mr. Chocolate Motor Mouth, so I'm going to talk to everybody. That's a good start. We're giving out free chocolate drinks. We're giving out the 34% and the 54% as a cold chocolate as well as a hot chocolate. So people start to introduce customers of what we have. But we're going to be here for you all evening. I think we may have a DJ later on, so it's going to be super interactive. But this is all about me getting to get to know you guys, and you finding out what this is all about, so we can make it the best chocolate drink you will ever have.
Well, glad you can make some time for us here on a busy day, and a day that's really exciting for you, your business partner, and really for everyone here in the Salt Lake Valley. Jens Knoops, kind enough to join us here for some excitement on 2 News Live at 3:30. Thanks for being with us, and we will come see you soon, and I'm sure Jake enjoyed that drink. I hope he brings some back for us.
He did.
Let's head to Utah County this afternoon.
Up. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There we go. I like that. The thumbs up. There's always the fun delay here, so I wanted to make sure we got that. Jake, a thumbs up. Doesn't surprise me. Let's go to Utah County now. People are reacting to a post from UDOT about the next phase of the 2100 North project. This is in Lehigh. UDOT posted saying, starting on Monday, the eastbound to westbound U-turn lane at 36th West and 21st North will be closed through the following Monday. By my count, that's about 7 days. How's my math? Crews will be moving a gas line ahead of future bridge work, and traffic will be detoured to the left turn lane at 36th West. Once complete, the freeway will include 6 lanes here, 14 bridges, and 2 pedestrian bridges across a nearly 3-mile stretch, making it a little bit more foot traffic friendly perhaps. Officials anticipate drivers will save about 12 minutes during their commute, during some peak travel times. We know it gets congested for you in Utah County. We talk about it almost every day here. UDOT anticipates the project will be completed at the end of 2028, so please be patient. People are asking questions about another part of this construction project. This part is Mountain View Corridor. That's another popular spot during the afternoon and evening commute, and I guess if you're heading to work in the morning in the opposite direction. Someone posted on Facebook asking UDOT why they removed the interactive map of the project from their website. So let's take that live look from the area there as crews continue to build a 35-mile freeway connecting Salt Lake County and Utah County. UDOT responded by saying that the team is working on adding the final design of the Salt Lake County section to the map. They expect the map to be live again in a few weeks. So we know you're checking these things. We know you want to see those updates to the big infrastructure projects here in the state of Utah. We love talking about all of those major growth projects. We obviously had this during the Olympics, right? And we will have that coming again. So what else will be coming down the pike here? You see a lot of these projects unfolding. Utah County, the Salt Lake County side, UDOT trying to get ahead of the next big boom, perhaps. 2 News listens to you every day here at 3:30. We see what you're saying on social. I spend a lot of time there looking for what you're saying. Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, all the above, and we have those conversations right here every day at 3:30. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Welcome back, live here on 2 News Live at 3:30. Earlier this week, the national debt hit a historic new milestone, reaching a record $40 trillion. I don't even know what that would even look like if we put it in this giant room here, stacking all those bills up. Jim Spiewak here with an in-depth conversation coming up at 4:15. How are you recovering the trillions, Jim?
Right. Well, it's going to probably take a while. If you think about it.
In our lifetime?
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Really, at this point, $1 million, we can kind of wrap our head around, right? $1 billion is 1,000 millions, and then $1 trillion would be 1,000 billions. Really hard number to try to comprehend. Then there's 40 of them. $40 trillion is the national debt now. So the interest payment alone on our debt is over $1 trillion. That's like if your credit card, the minimum payment that you would pay every single month, that's the government. We have $1 trillion to pay each and every year, and that is growing exponentially as we borrow more and more money. So we talked with the senior economist over at Zions Bank about how this national debt that has now reached $40 trillion may impact everyday Americans and everyday Utahns. Could that make things that we buy more expensive? Could it make borrowing money more expensive, things like a mortgage, a car loan, your credit card interest rates. So we talked to the senior economist about those types of things. Those are things that could really impact everyday people, you and me. So the national debt, it continues to grow. What would have to change for it to be reduced? Congress would have to act. But, you know, the question is why did it grow so much? So things like Social Security, that is number one. Number two, our second biggest expenditure, is the interest that we pay on this debt. And then you got things like Medicare and Medicaid, these social safety net programs. Those are the biggest expenses for the country right now, but it just keeps growing and growing, so we're going to talk about that.
How does that impact you? That conversation coming up at 4:15. My head hurts from that amount of money, especially on a Friday. Thanks for watching 2 News Live at 3:30. 2 News at 4.